Looking at the value of a variable is easy. We simply use the fact that substitutions happen before commands run to look at them. The echo command will print out on the screen whatever else you type on the line after echo. If I say echo hello, it prints hello. I can take advantage of the fact that substitutions are done to put something like a variable on the command line. The content of the variable will be placed on the command line after echo instead of $path, and then the echo command runs. Or in other words, I can see whatever's in that variable with echo. We can use this for any variable, whether it's an environment one like path or a local variable if I've created one. If I wanted to see a list of all of the variables that exist in my environment right now, the command env can be used to simply display all of my current environment variables. We can see there's one called lscolors. That's actually the preset variable that lists all sorts of file types with color codes, which is why when I list my files with ls, it shows my files in colors. If I did not have the lscolors environment variable, they wouldn't get colored. There's a variable called Ssh Connection in my particular shell that says that this particular terminal that I'm running is actually connected to this Linux machine using SSH. And then I logged in from this machine on this port to this server on this port, the standard SSH port. And as you can see, there are lots of other variables. Some of these variables were put there by programs I've been running. Some of these variables were put there by bash. Some of them came from programs that started my program. For example, the log name or login name variable was set by the login program that actually started my bash shell. The SSH connection one was put there by the SSH daemon that processed my network connection and allowed me to connect. So different programs can put things in here. Some get inherited, some get created, some get removed or changed. Some programs create a set of variables designed to be used by whoever is using the program. Things like shells do this. It allows us to have a look at a variable to find out interesting information about the shell that's running. For example, if I were in a shell script, I could easily tell that this shell script is being run through an SSH connection by looking for one of the SSH variables. I could also see what user I'm running as and who I logged in as. I could see where the home directory for this user is and the current working directory that I'm in right now. I can find out what terminal I'm connected to. I can find out what kind of terminal device it is, what shell program is running, etc. So there are lots of predefined variables. Bash has a number of these. They also have a number of special and automatic variables that contain useful information for us that are not shown in this list, but nonetheless exist so that we can see them and use them. Some interesting ones that we might want. The $sign. We've actually seen this in our Hello World program. $sign is not only the character that means look up the value of a variable, it's actually also the name of a variable. And if we were to look in the dollar variable with the echo command, we would find the current process ID. The process ID doesn't change as long as a process runs. Process IDs are unique within the system at any given moment. They're often used for things like creating temporary file names to make sure we have a unique file name. If I were to start a new bash process and look at the process ID, I should find that it's different in the new process. And if I log out of that one or exit that shell, I should find that I've gone back to the original process. The $sign is the name of a special variable. That one contains within it the number of things other than the command that were on the command line when the shell was started. So if this is an interactive shell, it likely was started without anything extra on the command line. And when I look at the number sign variable, I find that that's indeed the case. There is 0 things on the command line after the command. To see the command itself, the variable is called 0. That's the 0th thing on the line, the command itself. And we can see in my case it's bash. If there had been more things on the command line, if looking in the number variable I were to find, for example, a 3, that would mean that the special variables 1, 2, and 3 contain the 3 things that were on the command line. Numbered variables, which have only a number in them, are for the things that come from the command line. $0 is the command itself, $1 is the first thing after the command, 2 is the next thing, and so on. Random is a variable we've already seen. Random gives us a random number. Each time we access it, we should probably get a different number, although there is a small chance we'll get the same number more than once in a row, because it's random. The reply variable is used with the read command. If we use the read command to ask the user for input, and we don't tell the read command what variable to put their answer in, it gets put in the automatic variable called reply, and then we can look in it. So if I were to read, without telling read where to put the data, I can type in some text and press enter. It reads that and sticks it in the automatically created reply variable. I could now look in the reply variable and see what was entered. Question mark is the name of a special variable of great interest to script writers. The question mark contains the exit status of the most recent command. My last command was echo $reply. That command worked. If I were to check the exit status from it, I should find that it's a 0, meaning it was successful. And indeed, if I look at $question mark, I find it has a 0 in it. If I had done a command that failed and checked the status, I should find a non-zero number, meaning failure of the most recent command. It's always the most recent command status. So if I run it once and run it again to see the variable, I should see success this time, because the previous command was echo $question mark, which worked. There are quite a few special variables. The bash manual page lists all of them. Not all of them will show up when you look at the environment using the env command.